We are diving into one of the biggest and maybe quietest power shifts in modern history. We're talking about the battle for the future of money itself. You see, for the last 50 years, one system has basically powered the entire global economy. But now a massive challenger has emerged, and trust me, the outcome is going to affect every single one of us.
Just think about that for a second. What if someone, somewhere, could just flip a switch and turn off an entire country's economy? It sounds like something out of a spy movie, right? But it's not. It is a very real and very powerful weapon. And the fear of that weapon is what's reshaping our world as we speak. It's really the key to understanding this entire financial showdown.
Okay, so let's get into it. To really understand where we're going, we first have to understand the system that's been the undisputed champ of global finance for half a century. We're talking about SWIFT.
So before 1973, sending money across borders was a total mess. Seriously, banks were using a system called telex, and you can basically picture a global network of clunky typewriters. It was slow, it was full of errors, it was just wildly inefficient. So to fix all this, a group of banks got together and created SWIFT. It was set up as this neutral cooperative based in Belgium with one simple goal: create a single, secure language for all the world's banks to talk to each other.
Now here's the thing that most people get wrong about SWIFT. It's a huge misconception. SWIFT is not some giant global pipeline for cash. It doesn't actually hold or move any money itself. So, if it doesn't move money, what on earth does it do?
Well, this WhatsApp for banks analogy is pretty much perfect. Just like you'd send a text to a friend saying, "Hey, I just Venmo'd you 20 bucks, SWIFT sends a super secure standardized message from, say, a bank in New York to a bank in Tokyo authorizing a payment. It's the messaging layer, not the money layer. And for decades, it was literally the only game in town.
So how did this neutral, kind of boring messaging tool transform? How did something that started as a way to make banking more efficient slowly become one of the most powerful geopolitical weapons on the entire planet?
Well, the change was gradual at first. After 9/11, the U.S. started tapping into SWIFT data to track terrorist financing. Then in 2014, it was used to put pressure on some Russian banks. But 2022 was the earthquake. The decision to totally disconnect Russia's entire banking system was a Sputnik moment for countries outside the West. The scale and the speed of it was just shocking. It proved that the system could be completely weaponized. Overnight, a line had been crossed.
And here's the absolutely crucial point. Nations all around the world, especially those outside the Western Alliance, watched this happen and had this terrifying realization. Their access to the global economy, it wasn't guaranteed. It was a privilege, and one that could be revoked at any moment. Their entire economic sovereignty was basically dependent on another country's political will.
And, well, that realization, it became the catalyst for action. If the existing system can be used against you as a weapon, the only logical response is to build a new one, a parallel system that operates on a completely different set of rules.
And that brings us to BRICS-Pay. Unveiled in 2024, it's not trying to be a copy of SWIFT. It's actually much cleverer. It's a network of networks. So instead of building one giant new system from scratch, it's a decentralized layer that just connects the existing domestic payment systems of member countries, like India's amazing UPI system or China's SIPS. And the goal? It's simple: create a financial highway that can't be shut down by anyone else's political pressure.
And this brings us right to the new reality of 2026. We no longer have a single unified global financial web. What we have now is a financial splinter net. Two parallel systems, running side by side, but operating on two completely different philosophies. This whole situation has created a brand new type of fear for global investors: permission risk. Just imagine this. You are more worried about your assets being frozen for political reasons than you are about a stock market crash. That's the world we're in now, in 2026. So how do you protect yourself from a risk like that? You run. You flee to assets that nobody can politically control. And this fear has triggered a massive surge into what you might call neutral assets, things that exist outside any single government's influence. Gold is the classic example, of course. It has just soared to record highs, blowing past $2,500 an ounce, as central banks and private investors all scramble for a safe haven. And it's not just about what assets people are buying, it's about how they're trading. We are now seeing major deals for things like oil and gas happening completely off the SWIFT grid. For instance, there have been recent large-scale oil trades between the UAE and China settled directly using China's new digital yuan. The dollar was bypassed, the entire Western financial system was just skipped.
When you put them side by side, you see their philosophies are just polar opposites. On one hand, you have SWIFT. It's centralized, it's dollar-based, and it's governed by Western powers. Its killer feature? Everybody's already on it. Its network is huge. BRICS Pay is the complete inverse. It's decentralized, it uses a basket of local currencies, and it's built on newer tech like blockchain and digital currencies. And its one single killer advantage is total immunity from Western sanctions.
So where is all of this heading? What does this financial splinternet actually mean for the future of global power and, for the money in your own bank account?
Well, we seem to be heading towards what you'd call a dual-track economy. Most countries aren't going to choose one side, they'll use both. They'll use SWIFT to trade with the West and BRICS Pay to trade with the global South and each other. And at the same time, the tech underneath all of this is changing at lightning speed. By 2028, government-backed digital currencies, or CBDCs, will make instant international payments possible, which completely removes the need for that whole chain of middleman banks that the entire SWIFT system was built on.
And this really brings us to the most crucial point of this entire story. For the last 50 years, the whole world prioritized one thing above all else: efficiency. The dollar and SWIFT were just the fastest, cheapest, and easiest way to do business, period. But for the next 50 years, that priority is shifting. Now, a huge part of the world is willing to sacrifice a little bit of that efficiency for something they now see as far more valuable: sovereignty, the absolute guarantee that no one can ever flip a switch and turn their economy off.
You see, this is no longer a technical question about banking infrastructure. This is a fundamental question about power. As our world becomes more divided, more multipolar, the system we use for money is going to reflect that new reality. And the answer to the question of who gets to write the rules, well, for the first time in a very long time, that's truly up for grabs.